Hello everybody, it's me, GhostCritic, and it's a Sunday, so it's time for some comic book reviews. I've got 6 books that I picked up on Wednesday. If you'd watched my pull list then, you will know all the books I'm going to be talking about now. And just to remind you, obviously, reviewing those books, and so there will more likely be spoilers. So if you've not read any of the titles yet, and waiting to pick this up, then just fast forward the video a little bit until you can't see the copy that I'm holding up, and the next one's up, and you can just continue on. And we're going to kick off with The Uncanny Inhumans. This is one of the Monsters Unleashed tie-ins, and if I'd been paying more attention as I was paying for my comic books, I probably wouldn't have picked this up, because it's not actually part of the Uncanny Inhuman storyline. It's a little bit of fluff that's kind of boosting up the volume of this kind of mini event that's going on. If you pick this up like I did and have no knowledge and not picking up the kind of main event that's going on, you really don't have a clue of the kind of backstory of this, how these monsters have been unleashed. And so it just turns into this kind of, it's just a plain, ordinary, kind of average fight against big, huge monsters with kind of some of the superheroes, some of the Inhumans being put under incredible danger, and sacrifices made. And really the problem, or the biggest problem I have with this, and it's the same really with any event for decades, and I do appreciate how hard this could possibly be, but kind of timing it in the sense of it being understandable with what you're reading on the Uncanny Humans at the moment, because there are a few flaws in here, the biggest being Karnak playing a part in helping the Inhumans, as in the main title he has kind of teamed up, he's been broken out of prison and has teamed up with Maximus the Mad. So that's kind of, it's a little irritating, but as is always the case, these don't get solicited really in the right order or at the right time, so it just glares out so big, even though it's really just such a small thing for something that I'm really not actually that bothered about. The artwork in here is serviceable enough. There's, you know, your big pictures of monsters and them all getting attacked and such like, and the story just kind of goes along as it goes along. There's really nothing much to it. Uncanny Inhumans, Monsters Unleashed tie-in. Let's move on to DC, and we'll have a look at part 1 of Godwitch. It's Wonder Woman issue number 16, and I think this is the first time that I've not been impressed with Wonder Woman. This was kind of a very flat, predictable, and I don't really know, it just seemed kind of an ordinary story. It's the first time we've got the new artist on here now. We've got, who's the artist on here now? It's Bilquis Evely, along with Mark Morales, Andrew Hennessy, Paul Fernandez, Romalo Fajardo Jr., Jodie Wynn. Yes, there's a lot of artists on this book, and it kind of shows because the artwork kind of goes up and down in quality. I wasn't sure who a lot of these people were, given that I wasn't quite sure where we were going with this storyline right at the very beginning. I first thought the woman with the black hair was Wonder Woman, and I was trying to figure out what's the connection here. But we have Wonder Woman. It's kind of 6 months on from her leaving Themyscira, and we find out all the great things she's been doing while she's been here on Earth. doing the good deeds as her new titled Wonder Woman would be. And we get introduced to 2 new gods, hence the, I guess, the God Watch name of this storyline. I think it's Deimos and Phobos. And, you know, everybody wants to know where Themyscira is. And we have this kind of unwieldy plot device in the Cyberwalker. Not really much is said about what this Cyberwalker actually does. It's kind of very cryptic at the beginning, but apparently it has this thing to connect to someone's mind, delve in there, and Deimos and Phobos want to use this, so they capture the head of whoever's making this. I think is it Empire Industries? Yeah, but Empire Industries haven't quite perfected this Cyberwalker, and anyone who uses it basically turns either dead or into a mental flubbering mess. So they want to use it against Wonder Woman, and they kind of create this situation of someone in danger against the Chimera that Wonder Woman has already captured and kind of tamed, and it just doesn't go well, but it gives the kind of, I guess, the head honcho of Empire Industries the reason to now hate Wonder Woman and pit her against her and want to destroy Wonder Woman. It just seemed very kind of read it before, seen it before, and just this odd plot device of a machine that can read people's minds. So I wasn't particularly impressed, and it's the first time I've really enjoyed it up to this point. Hopefully Greg Rucka can build this story up a bit bigger and make it a lot more interesting than this kicking off God Watch. So not 100% impressed. Moving on to the other DC title that comes out the same week, it's The Flash, and we have Rogues Reloaded part whatever it is. We're up to issue 16, and I do think that DC have got the covers on these the wrong way round, not really paying attention. We have Mirror Master on the front here, but his story was all really in last week's issue, while the big bulk of this at the start is with the Fire guy Heatwave, and he was on last week's or the week before's issue. So there was some mess up there from DC. They should have kind of switched the covers to make it fit right. However, with the Flash in the storyline here, it's always the way. You get a group of supervillains together, they have the perfect plan which can't go wrong, and then someone deviates from it. Someone wants to outdo the Flash or whoever they're against and take it upon themselves, and that was the case with Heatwave. Heatwave here is meant to take the fall, go to prison, and let the rest of the rogues escape. And with everything they've accumulated, they've robbed and thieved, and they basically pulled one over Flash. But Heatwave, in his eternal wisdom, decides to try and take down the Flash himself. Thinks he has, but the Flash, he's clever. He lets Heatwave get away, but of course he follows him, and then he foils everyone but Captain Cold. And here's your cliffhanger. Captain Cold has upgraded his freeze gun, his cold gun, and it kind of fits back to this kind of dark black power that they were doing at the laboratory at Star Labs right at the very beginning of this. and Captain Cold has now got a black ice gun. And that's kind of like your final page. So we're going to have obviously a big showdown between the Flash and Captain Gold. It moved very well. The action was non-stop from start to finish. I really like the artwork on both sides. Whoever's drawing this, they really capture the kind of the kinetic fast speed of the Flash, and, you know, put it down on paper and make everything have a good deal of momentum going through the book. So I'm really enjoying The Flash, and just let me know if you feel the same. I know a lot of people aren't too happy about the interchanging artists, but I'm getting a real kick out of it. We'll move back to Marvel and the penultimate issue of Chris Samnee and Mark Waid's Black Widow. This is issue number 11. And if you remember, if you're a reader of this book, last issue they were up in space meeting the kind of a freaky cloaked Nick Fury, who gave a very cryptic message just saying friendship, and here we find out what he was alluding to. Why he couldn't just come out and say, look, there's this secret underground base in the Antarctic, or wherever it is it the Antarctic? Let's have a quick look. Antarctica, yeah. Here, and it has, why people build these things I don't know, but if you've got all the 6 keys, turn them all, you can absolutely obliterate S.H.I.E.L.D. All their data, all their files will be deleted, killed permanently, and basically all the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are going to be left kind of literally out in the cold without anyone to lead them. So of course Black Widow is here, and who else but all those pesky little girls from the Red Room, who are after bringing obviously down S.H.I.E.L.D. And once again Chris Samnee just makes some awesome panel stories just to really make this this story stand out. I've really enjoyed this, and it's such a shame that this is coming to an end. 12 issues doesn't seem long enough, doesn't seem enough. I'm not sure whether this is due to sales or whether this is the kind of excuse that a lot of creators are giving out at the moment, that they've got a story to tell, it's going to start here and it's going to end there. Well, that's fine and dandy, but there are other writers and creators out there who could just pick up the book and continue it. So maybe it is just down to poor sales. I don't really follow that kind of thing. But from issue 1 right up to here, it's been a great spy thriller adventure story, throwing in a little bit of romance over the last few issues with Black Widow, Natasha, and Bucky, the Winter Soldier. And it's just been a great lot of fun. Mark Waid and Chris Samnee sprinkling their magic super team dust across another kind of very underrated character and kind of push them to the fore. I'm very interested and intrigued to see what Mark Waid and Chris Samnee will do next with their talents, what character they'll pick up next. And moving on now to Image, my last 2 Image books. It's issue 31 of East of West. Jonathan Hickman, Nick Dragotta and Frank Martin's post-apocalyptic world, kind of westerny, very sci-fi, great world that they have created, and full of intrigue, deceit, backstabbing, civil war. And in issue 31 we have the Black Tower with the Mr. President, and I guess the White Tower with the Lady President. The Lady President having to kind of make an uneasy alliance and ask for help, as there is a great deal of civil unrest going in her kind of nation, so to speak. And it's a kind of about an uprising. It's about a revolution of the people. They are very happy with the way Madam President has been dealing with it, and so what seems at first to be about like I say, an easy alliance between the Black and the White Tower turns into a story of a group of, I guess, kind of rebels, the underground revolution, and they are off to kind of capture a train, a sky train, flies through the air because it's full of ammunition and bombs that are headed to the White Tower, courtesy of the Mr. President, this guy here. And they are going to try and hijack the train, and who knows where it's going? Well, it's going straight to the White Tower, and they're hoping to make a strike for the people and bring down the fascist regime. Just another great instalment of East of West, where you just don't know really where this story is going to go next, what character it's going to pick up with next. But what I always find with the East of West, even though sometimes I don't remember what's happened in the last issue, as soon as I start reading it, I pick it up just like that. The storylines, whether it's completely different from what happened last time, it's still suddenly fresh in my mind. I pick it up straight away. I know the characters, where they are, what they're up to, and it just makes for a great read. I don't feel lost at all. If you've not been reading East of West, 31 issues in, I would suggest picking up the trades now and catching up that way. You're in for a ride. I've loved this, and it's kind of reaffirmed my my doubt of Hickman as a great storyteller. Maybe the main kind of Marvel, not really for him, maybe. Maybe he was being too grand in Marvel and trying to keep threads and those in the background, the editorial team and the big name company, keeping them all happy at the same time. Here at Image, he can just unleash all his creativity and take his time to tell a story and just do it damn good, give it some justice, and that's certainly what East of West has been